What are some of the things that you think that during that time and beyond helped you and your business grow?
I really thought that I had to present myself in a certain way. But then when we started working together, you were saying, bring in your life, like talk about your husband and talk about your relationship and talk about everything, and bring in everything else. I had no idea that would build a deeper relationship with the community that I have.
This episode is brought to you by the Travel Counsellors, the only franchise travel company in the UAE. If you're inspired to start a business like many of the guests we have on the podcast, love to travel, and the thought of planning dream bucket list holidays lights you up, then this could be the opportunity for you. This flexible business allows you to work from home, bonus, whilst Travel Counsellors provide the training, back office support, licensing, and access to industry-leading booking platform. If you're passionate about travel and have an entrepreneurial spirit and interested in joining a company that put care at the heart of everything that they do, then click the links in the show notes below. Welcome to another episode of the Kelly Lundberg podcast. Following the success of last month, where I brought on a guest to tell a little bit about their journey going through personal branding, what it was like to work with me, work with the team, and just what were some of the real life lessons, because I think that's the biggest thing, that it's great to hear from people who have been there and have been on the journey and what they can share. So welcome to the show, Noona. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I remember when you signed up, it was just after Christmas.
Yes.
Like not
pretty
last
much
year,
a
the year
ago,
before.
wasn't it?
It was. And I remember being super excited because you came to me with already your brand created.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you had said, I've got my brand here, but what I need is some support with getting the brand out there and my personal brand and the visibility and the accountability. And tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we'll step into that.
So I've got a company called Noona, which means new light. It is a coaching company. So we do corporate training and one-to-one executive coaching for CEOs and leaders. And I had just set it up in November on my birthday. I'd launched it 24th of November last year, and I'd got everything ready. And I came to one of your masterclasses.
I remember what you were reading in that masterclass. It was a star blouse.
It was.
This is like nearly 18 months ago.
And I didn't realise that you loved stars as well. And I pulled out my star pencil case as well. And you were like...
I had a meltdown. You're like, what else you got?
Do you know about my star obsession? I'm like, no. Do you know about mine? It was so funny. And I came to your masterclass, and just the way you presented it, like you have this real like... really positive energy. It's like anything can get done, and your masterclass was just so light, and by light I mean like light energy, like very cheerful and very, you can do it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to work with this lady. Yeah. And then we got on a call straight away. Of course, it was a yes. And I think for me, I wanted to know, like, am I on the right track with the branding? Mm-hmm. Because I'd got my colors, I've got my logo, but what should I do now? Like, where should I go? How should I present what I do? And I think the great thing is as well is that I think when you work with someone, you want to work with someone who's already done what you want to do. And I could see that you've been in the region for a while, you've been in Dubai, you've got a lot of people, a lot of corporates that you work with, and that's where I want to get to. And you just gave me such good advice, and I just think it was great. I loved it. And I contacted you earlier and like, can we work a little bit more with each other?
So what have been some of the things that would you say when you focus on your personal brand? Because I guess people are listening to this and are thinking, well, is it too early to be working on my personal brand? Or what are some of the things that you think that during that time and beyond helped you and your business grow?
Yeah, I think for me, I really thought that I had to present myself in a certain way, like just do very business stuff and just do X, Y, and Z. And I'd had someone reach out to me and say, you need to just do more the like, just be a bit more corporate. And I'm just like, I'm not sure if that's right. But then when we started working together, you were saying, bring in your life, like talk about your husband and talk about your relationship and talk about everything, and bring in everything else. I had no idea that would build a deeper relationship with the community that I have. And, you know, I have like just over 2,000 people on Instagram, but for example, I had a sinus infection for the last 8 days, and I've been for 8 days over Christmas. And the amount of people that reached out to me, I asked on a story, does anyone have any remedies? I had people reach out to me saying, I've got some echinacea I've bought from France. I can cream it over to you. Like, and people I'd never met, but they were in my community. And I thought that is the power of personal branding, that they had felt connected to me as a human being, that they kind of know me and got to know who I am. And, you know, one of my big pillars is kindness and just being really friendly. And that really came back to me. And I thought that is the power of what you taught me.
I love that. Love that. So your space is leadership coaching.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things of, you know, you've built, you know, your backstory was you were in...
headhunting.
Yes, that was not in HR, but recruitment.
Recruitment, yeah.
And, you know, you actually already had a really big LinkedIn following.
Yeah.
But I think one of the other aspects was, how do you pick that back up, utilizing that audience that you've already got, but in a different headspace?
Yeah.
How's that gone for you?
I joined LinkedIn the day that it launched. And this was...
How did you know about it?
Well, we were in recruitment, and we were... I had my own recruitment business. It was called Moving Horses Human Resources. When I was 26.
I love it. Did you mean for it to rhyme?
Yeah.
Love it.
Moving Horses, Human Resources. And one of the people who we were working with had just joined LinkedIn, and he was like, look, I think you should join. It's going to be a networking thing. So we joined from day one, and that was like, nearly 20 years ago now. And so I've just built it, and I've got 27,000 connections, and I just didn't really know what to do with it. And I think when we started working together as well, again, your advice was like, just post. I think with my wedding anniversary, and you said, write like 10 things that I've learned from being married for 10 years. I just would never have thought to do things like that. And then what I loved as well is the proactiveness that you taught me. Was Tash had put, from Tish Tash, the CEO, had put something on saying, I'm looking for someone to come and do some corporate training for us. Are you interested? Let me know. And I'd emailed her, and I remember messaging you saying, like, she hasn't replied. And you're like, well, just reach out again. And you're just having someone there who just does. And now, since then, I do a session a month with them. And I've got, one-to-one clients out of it. So it's just, I think it's just having someone who's, it can be lonely, when you're working on your own, and you can really get in your head and think, yeah, but should I and should I not? And having someone just to say, like, just do it, just go for it. I think it just makes such a difference.
I love that you did something at the start of this year. Don't know if you know what I'm going to say. And you chose a word.
Yes.
How has that been received on your social media platforms?
Do you know, that was a really popular reel that I made. Yeah. And I was really thinking about what my word for last year was, embodiment. But I never told anyone about it. And I just didn't even think. And I think after all the work that we've done together, I'm like, I need to share this. And I shared it on LinkedIn and shared it on Instagram. And the amount of people, so this year, to keep everyone hanging, this year it's devotion, and really being devoted to so many different areas of my life, from my health, my relationship, being a mum, my business, my spirituality, and everything is under the context of devotion this year. The amount of people that have reached out to me and said, you've inspired me to have a word as well. And then a couple of people on LinkedIn did a post and tagged me to say, I've been inspired and my word is X, Y, and Z.
I love that.
Yeah, so I do think it does, what you question whether you should share, having someone to say, like, yeah, do it,
It's okay.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
You delete it. If you really go, I don't like it, I delete it. But I
Yeah.
also advise not deleting things. As just had a viral reel that was from a reel that went out 2 months ago.
Amazing.
So I don't necessarily believe it, but the worst is if you don't like
Yeah.
it, you can always delete it.
Yeah.
One of the things that you certainly made a proactive strategy in was doing workshops and speaking. And I know it's a thing that a lot of people feel nervous about because you're like, what if no one comes? But you embraced that. How did that go for you? What was it like? Like, kind of just put that into perspective for people that are watching and listening.
I am still not doing as many face-to-face ones as I did. I've done a couple. And again, it was watching you do all your face-to-face workshops and just how, you know, when you see someone face-to-face, again, the energy is completely different. You've kind of bought into them already. And I already knew leaving your masterclass that I wanted us to work together because I'd seen you, I'd been in your energy. And that has really inspired me to do more. I've done a few but I'm definitely going to do more. But even the online ones, I love them. I did last year. I did one a month. It's great.
Well done.
Yeah, it's great to build your email list, and people do get to know you as well, even on Zoom. And you get people internationally. So yeah, definitely the one on Zoom I'm doing once a month. But I want to do more face to face. But I love them.
Yeah. And are you doing the same one to build people up and get better at it?
See, that's the thing. I kept thinking that I had to do a different one every month. And then when you said to me, like, no, you can just do the same one and just perfect it and use it. And I've like adapted it. You've just made my life so much easier. And
that's a plus.
And I can add to different things. You know, I can be like, oh, I really fancy talking about this.
Yeah.
But I've got my basis and I have perfected it. And again, that's a really good piece of advice that you gave me.
So you created your UPBS, which
Yes.
is your unique personal branded solution or system.
Yeah.
What is yours?
So my formula, it's an acronym for power.
Yeah.
And I really I love teaching personal power to leaders. And it's very much about taking your power back and being able to lead yourself before you even think about leading a team or leading anything. So I've then broken that into an acronym, and I teach people about personal power, overcoming fear, making failure your best friend. And that's again something else that I'd learned from you, which was great. Yeah.
In the book that's coming out.
It is. It's called Power. It's coming out.
I love it. I love it. So what would be your kind of parting comment to someone that's nervous about, you know, building or actively working on their personal brand strategy? Like, this is why I wanted to bring people that have gone through the journey a little bit to say, this is the effect, or it works, or this is what I thought. What would be your parting thoughts to someone?
First, I would say to reach out to you.
Thanks. That was not intended.
Reach out. But really, it's to realize that from what you taught me, that your personal brand is your business brand. You know, people do buy people, and the more that people know about you, the more they trust you. I've had people reach out to me that I thought business was always going to be me having to reach out to everyone and offer my services. But actually, the more I've shown of myself, the more people have connected with different parts of my life, that they've reached out to me and said, I really loved X, Y, and Z. And honestly, it's the tiniest thing. It could be something that my children did, or a letter that my daughter wrote, or my son putting an I hate you letter under the door. Because I didn't let him.
You posted that.
I didn't let him open his birthday present 3 days early. He was so angry with me. Everyone's like, why? But people could relate to that. And then that's what's made them reach out. So whatever it is, share it. It can feel quite daunting, but it's also like, once you get into it, it's actually quite fun. It's really nice.
Well, and I think then you become, you're you.
Yeah.
So what are you? You're doing it for you, and you're thinking about that one person that you can help rather than the millions of people that might be on sort of social media, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so much easier as well. It's because you're not overthinking it. You just put yourself out there, share as much of your life as possible, and just get on with it.
I love it. Where can people find you?
So I'm very active on Instagram, which is Noona Fousi. I'm very active on LinkedIn as well, Noona Fousi. And then my website is Neonoor, which is NEONOOR.
Love it. Thank you so much for being such an action-taking client, but inspiring others that when you do take action,
you get the
rewards.
results.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to travel counsellors for this episode. If you're inspired to start a business like many of the guests that you hear on the podcast, and the thought of planning a dream bucket list holiday lights you up, check out the details in the show notes.